The new patch notes are finally here in Call of Dragons, so we're going to be taking a look at that today. We're going to be swapping between the notice board and the actual notes a little bit. First, we're going to take a look at the new heroes, which you can see here on screen. And just as a heads up, there will be a segment at the end of this video where I just very rapidly go through the patch notes, like a 2 or 3 minute long segment where I go through everything. And this update goes live on December 19th. And so we got two new heroes as expected. We got Thundolin and Thalia. Very interesting hero names. So we got Thundolin and Velin, and we got Thea and Thalia. Alright. Thundolin is magic PvP control and is available from Lucky Spin. Thalia is magic rally and support, which is available from the Strongest Lord. I find it really interesting that a rally hero is also a support hero, but maybe that'll make more sense once we actually see it. We're getting a new artifact, the Thunder Elegy, which is magic PvP control. Forge of Light, Riches of the Forest, makes sense. We're getting a new war pet, the Seraphic Phaedrake, which is pretty hilarious. And we're getting the new behemoth, the Cosmic Rock. I don't think that that's in the notice board, but speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look at these heroes now. And we do have this nice infographic here in the notice board, but first let's just scroll past and go to the heroes. So here is Thundolin, which is a decent looking hero. There's also some memes in the Discord server where it's like, hey, this is the Necroballs, Guanwin's armor, Indus's crown, and Nairnin's pose. But overall, I think the merging of these things is decent. The lack of pupils or anything is kind of crazy. It just I don't know, they're fully thunder, I guess. They don't have a soul or whatever. So they do AoE damage and have numbness with powerful lightning spells. The numbness thing is interesting. I guess this is a new debuff. With a control tree, it makes sense. So maybe this will be another hero that you go in for the silence like you do with Velin sometimes. We'll have to see how exactly that works. And then next we've got Thalia here, which is magic rally support. It encourages legions with music, deals heavy damage, and inflicts debuffs. So it'll be interesting to see what you pair her with, since she does heavy damage and debuffs and encourages legions, which I assume is going to be something similar to Tara's skill that gives Keen. Or I don't know, is it actually called Keen, Tara's skill? Or is it, yeah, it is called Keen. So I wonder if it'll be the same thing as that, or if it'll be something different. Anyways, it's a good hero design, I think. Some people have complained about it, but it probably makes sense. The fact that it has hooves similar to Pan is kind of hilarious. So I guess this is the a Wilderberg hero, and this is a elf hero. So no new human mage, but I guess it is what it is. And then here we have the new Seraphic Phaedrake, which is underwhelming, to say the least. So they spent no time whatsoever on the design of the pet, which I guess is okay, but there at least should have been some sort of, unique detailing on the skin or something, because literally what this is the same as with the Miasma Giant. If we go into the behemoths and we compare the normal giant and the Miasma Giant, this is just a reskin of the normal giant. It's just a color shift, especially if you look at the avatar frame as well. So they basically did the same thing with the Sapphire Phaedrake and the Seraphic Phaedrake. Look at how similar these two are. It's almost exactly the same. Well, no, actually it is exactly the same. Maybe the eyes are slightly different. But, yeah. So the developers seem to reusing the same textures, which I'm not sure if in the long term if that's good or bad. Maybe reusing the textures once is fine, but if they continue down this path, it's also going to be a bit weird. And then we have the names as well, right? Thundolin, Velin, Thea, Thalia. It seems like maybe a bit of a lack of creativity, But either way, I'm still excited to see these new heroes and pets come into the game. And here is the new artifact. So it'll be very interesting to see how exactly this artifact works. I've heard some people say that it's going to be something like a ranged Fang of Ashkari, and if that's the case, that'll be pretty cool. So the Fang of Ashkari, it does like a stun and damage or something like that around the hero. Yeah, sets a circle around your legion, deals diffuse damage. Oh, actually, it doesn't do a stun. It just deals diffuse damage. But maybe the mage artifact will have a stun and also like a template like this that does damage. We'll have to wait and see. I think that would make sense. Hopefully I'm able to get that artifact if it ends up being good. And if not, I guess we'll just hope that it's not great. I can't exactly afford it right now. Anyways, let's head back into the patch notes now that we've gotten the new heroes and stuff out of the way. So there's going to be a lot of repetition in this patch notes from the last Q&A as well. So I'll go through it pretty quickly. So here we have the first point, which is for the new season format. This just says that people that have completed their first 3 seasons will be able to register for this version of Season of Strife. And then the season features, Camp vs. Camp team up mechanics, which is pretty good. You have to form your team of AABB or CCCDDD, which seems to work very well. And then new map, we have seen this new map, we'll go take a look at that in a second. The new fellowship system seems really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. The rapid siege warfare as well, where alliance building can be destroyed and removed faster, is very interesting. I wonder if they're going to keep the build buff as well, because if they have the build buff and this buff, our tower is going to be able to be built in like 2 minutes. That's kind of insane. So you'd be able to get all the way to the dragon within the hour of your build buff. I mean, I guess you're going to get held up by a spire as well. Either way, this seems a bit crazy. We'll have to see exactly how it works. And like they said, the army groups are being added to the normal policies. The army groups didn't really make sense to be put into the talents, because if you go for these army group talents, you're missing out on so much value over here. It just doesn't really make very much sense for the majority of players. But let's go ahead and take a look at the notice board again, because there is the new map here, which we're familiar with, but then the fellowship system. So shared heroes and treasures. Looks like you select 5 heroes and 5 artifacts. Form a fellowship to share heroes, artifacts, and unlock Legion Teleport. So it doesn't give us much of a clue as to what happens if you put a hero here. By the way, these epic heroes are 6 stars, which is hilarious, because that's not actually possible. It looks like each person, though, can only select 1 hero and 1 artifact to share with everyone else. So you can't just have like a whale in there, for example. So maybe the idea is that you have like whale, free to play, infantry main, cavalry main, mage main, or something like that. That way you can share like one of your best heroes, and then you have like a 4-to-1 ratio, so at least the free to play player is able to use the heroes from the other people as well. Now I wonder, there's like a little cooldown on both this artifact and the what is that, Alistair here. So it looks like, what does that say? Let me just blow this up real quick. Alright, so it looks like it says, maybe if I turn pixels off, it looks like it says 33 minutes. So maybe there's like an hour cooldown. You can only use a hero from someone once per hour. I'm not 100% sure. So based on what this looks like, it looks like Corin is the leader of this fellowship thing, and they used King's Alistair and Giant's Hammer, whatever that is. So, by the way, Alistair's a legendary, and this was just hilarious. I'm not sure what this means. Maybe only one person is able to use each hero and artifact once per hour, Or maybe you're only able to use each hero and artifact there once per hour or something like that. I think the latter of that would make more sense. So like your first refresh, you use this and this, second this and this, this. Or add you lend. Oh, okay, so never mind. What I said earlier, now that I'm paying more attention, because Corin is the leader of this group and the person taking the screenshot, you can tell because their avatar frame doesn't appear in the top right of their hero or their artifact down here. Although I guess Kings doesn't appear, or Nightmares doesn't appear as well. Interesting. There's 4 people in this group. Okay. There's a lot of interesting information here. Oh, actually, the hero on, or the avatar frame on this is different than the avatar frame on this. Okay, so maybe, yeah, it looks like only one person is actually able to use it. Okay, that makes more sense. So you're able to put as many things as you want then, I guess. Or maybe you're only able to put one. And then it shows whoever's using it currently. So whoever took this picture recently used Alistair and the hammer. Okay, but now this person is currently using it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So you're going to be able to use the hero and the artifact once per hour, and only one person can use it at a time. And it looks like you can add more than one thing. So if like you're a whale, for example, and you want to sponsor everyone, you can put like 5 artifacts and 5 heroes, presumably. Or maybe you're just going to be inactive for a couple of days or something, you can do that as well. Okay, I spent enough time speculating on this, but I think it's worth to spend the time just because I want to know how this feature works ahead of time. It's really interesting. Just as an aside here, while I'm editing this, you can tell that the person's name in the middle is green, so that person is obviously the person's point of view, so you can only add one hero and artifact. That person hasn't added an artifact yet. That's why there's still the add you lend thing down there at the bottom. I don't know why I didn't pick up on the fact that their name was green when I was recording, but oh well. Anyways, let's get on with the rest of the video. So the fellowship system here is probably the only thing that was worth going into because that had the little teaser image there. So let's go ahead and move on. I guess maybe we can touch on the Cosmic Rock again. It's probably going to be a reskin like the Miasma Giant. Hopefully it's interesting, but I don't know. They seem to be not doing the greatest with the new behemoths. So I'm not going to hope for anything too crazy there. So there's going to be some new events which are interesting. We're challenging a Frost Giant to a snowball fight, apparently. And we have the Mystery Box event again. Hopefully it won't be bugged this time, as well as Great Heights. They're making Great Heights easier by allowing the top 20 people to obtain the city theme, which is pretty cool. And speaking of, let's go ahead and actually take a look at that city theme. Now, once again, there are some complaints from people about the city theme. They're saying that this city theme is very similar to this city theme here, which, yeah, it kind of is. This is like the beginner version or the base version, and this would be like the evolved version of the city theme. Marksman unit 10% attack, so that's a pretty nice skin to have. There'll probably be some pretty decent competitions for it, as it says here. Top 20 lords in the event rankings will win a permanent city theme. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you can't complain. It looks like poorly edited. I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe this image just looks bad. But the top of it just seems like massive. And like these spires and the towers are like pointed outwards. It's a little bit interesting. It's very tall, that's for sure. We'll go ahead and see what that actually looks like once people start getting it. Here's the snowball fight. Looks like you get tiered rewards. We'll just have to see what that is when it comes into the game. We have a new city decoration, which is nice. Always cool to see that. And a new epic city theme. Nice little gingerbread house. So, yeah, if you need a magic defense theme, I don't think we had one yet. I think we had HP, right? Yeah, we had this one for HP. And I don't think any of these other skins were mage. So that's only our second ever free-to-play mage skin. And then so now we have, if you include the pay-to-win skin, a 5% attack, defense, and HP, which is cool. 5% defense, though, is kind of bad, but I guess it is what it is. Let's go ahead and hop back into the patch notes now and go over the new combat changes. So Danfell and Mogro are both getting a buff, which is good. If you want to go ahead and read what these buffs are, I'll go ahead and put them on screen here for a second. But basically it is increasing the duration and the effectiveness of the reduced damage taken for both your own legion and the legions behind you. And then the Brothers of Arms gives him a new buff, so it retains the 4% defense, 8% HP, but he also does extra hero skill damage based on the amount of legions he loses before he casts the rage skill. So I kind of wonder if your legion loses, say, 81% of its troop count before it casts a rage skill. Would that mean that you would do 320% skill damage? That seems crazy. I don't know if that would actually work, but I don't think that you cast your rage skill unless you have a target, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, that's really interesting. Maybe you could use, like, Heart of Kamasi on Danfell. That sounds crazy, but hear me out. To intentionally delay your rage skill, that way you do, like, some massive damage or something. That's kind of crazy, but anyways. Mogro is getting a buff here as well, so it increases the ironclad effect of infantry units' alertness skill by a little bit. So it's just an extra added effect on there. And then the Ashes of Rage also gets a buff as well. And what the buff is here is that just instead of doing diffuse damage, it does actual damage, so it doesn't go down by 15% per target hit, which makes sense. And then we get into some alliance improvements, so the priority list is being expanded from 30 to 60 players. This is a start, and I think it's a good thing. Now you could probably have all of your leadership on there and your like super active fighters, so that's good. We'd like to see some more improvements to the system, such as auto R4ing people that used to be R4 when they rejoin an alliance, and things like that. Maybe that'll come in time. Alliance skill Fog of War improvements. Improve combat visuals of Fog of War. Your alliances in your warband and Fog of War cast by other alliances will be displayed with different colored markers. Okay, allowing you to tell friend from foe more easily. So I guess the fog will be like tinted a certain color, which is pretty cool. When either side casts Fog of War, a countdown timer will be displayed. Okay, so it'll tell you when it's going to be taken off instead of just having to like set your own physical timer, which makes sense. Reduced chance of immunity to range damage. Ooh. So there's still a chance to be hurt from people outside the fog. Or there's now a chance, not still. So that's cool. It's still like a low or a high percent chance to not take any damage, but at least now people that are clueless and DPSing from outside the fog will at least do something. Cool. Now there's going to be a bunch of seasonal improvements here. The majority of things that are here they've already gone into, so I'll go ahead and cover it a little bit quickly. So we have the migration feature improvement. The cooldown is being reduced from 90 to 60 days. If you already had a cooldown, it'll be reduced by 30 days when the update comes out. Migration permits are being reduced from 400,000 to 300,000 credits, which is nice. That's still too high because you aren't able to actually get 300,000 credits per week very easily unless you're in a high spend alliance, but it is what it is. And they're also going to be available for 1,000 gems per week as well, which is good. And this will allow you to, I mean, I guess you can spend your credits on something else anyways, but the highest value to spend your credits will still be on the migration permits instead of the gems. Because, you know, one teleportation is 300,000 credits, which is 600 gems or 300 gems, depending on what price you buy it at. Or 10 hours of speed ups, which, you know, 1,000 gems is way more valuable than 10 hours of speed ups. So still spend your alliance credits on the permits if you're going to be buying them. And the home realm resource node improvements, which is good, increases the level of legions, or the war pets, the Darkling forts, And in pre-war phase, home realms will hold a regular pet party event each week, increasing the chances of obtaining your desired war pet. Nice. So that's going to make it a lot easier to actually find the war pet you want and just make the experience in home realm a little bit more enjoyable. That's pretty cool. Now, if this is every week, it's going to be kind of interesting because you'll be able to like skip KVK and get this event a whole bunch, I think. But the rewards from being in KVK are still better because you're probably only going to be getting 2 warrants per day in Home Kingdom, right? Or I guess they might have said that they were improving that in the Q&A. I forget. Anyways, the Augurstone difficulty improvements. So this is a bit weird. What they're doing is they're going to be decreasing the amount of Darklings that you need to kill for this stage here, which makes it so that people in Asian time zones are going to be more advantaged based on the time that the season will start at. So now what the meta will probably be, if you're North American or European, is like hoarding your CP through the season and spending it at the start of the next season to kill Darklings. This, this Augurstone in general that allows you to manipulate when the event times for like all the pass openings and things happen is really interesting. As you can see, we decided as a union, basically, no one in EDS, EXG, or TRK killed Darklings before the season, or before this Augurstone chapter was over. So we had a pretty good pass time for, passes this event, which we won't be able to do in the future. Instead, we'll have to rush it as fast as possible, I think. Anyways, realm management quote improvements. So it says that High Kings can check the personal power rankings and manage players to control a realm's total influence, but this is a translation issue or something because there's still no way to actually manage the players in your kingdom. One thing that did happen that I noticed on stream the other day is that they did increase the leaderboards to include the top 600 people, which is pretty awesome, and this is available in Home Kingdom as well. So this will allow you to at least see everyone that's in your kingdom that is above the 15 million power threshold, assuming your kingdom isn't like absolutely massive at least. But it's still, like, there's still no way to actually force people out of your kingdom, which is really annoying. And it says players below the power threshold, and the power threshold is listed here, so that's good that they're reiterating this, will not count towards a server's total influence, even if they are in the personal power rankings. So good that they're reiterating this, but again, they're not giving kings or leadership or anyone the ability to create their own community, which is bad. Give us the ability to deport people, please, thank you. So a change to the merit store. There's going to be a red dot when new things are in the merit store. I guess this is good because when the daily refreshes, sometimes I forget to go in and buy it. So there'll just be a dot, I guess, on this like little chest icon here. And also a dot on the banner here as well. I mean, that's a cool little improvement. It's not game breaking, but I guess it's a nice little QOL. And then in the last section here, personal development improvements. The artifact reforge feature, so they're going to be giving you your arcane dust back once you reforge an artifact, which is nice. They didn't do that before. In my opinion, though, you have so much arcane dust, or at least I do, that I don't really need this feature, but I guess maybe if you're maxing like literally every artifact, then you're probably running out of dust. But at least in my experience, I haven't had that issue. I guess a lot of high spenders don't actually kill Darklings though, so that's probably where that issue comes up. And the next thing is the Titan's Legacy, so let's go ahead and scroll down and find that. Right at the bottom here. So they're adding the Phoenix Eye, the Heart of Kamasi, Dragon Scale Armor, Spring Blades. I wonder if they're adding even more than this, or if it's just those 4 items, because if we go into the Titan's Legacy now, you can see that those first 4 things are in the same position. So I wonder if you're going to be able to scroll down this and see even more artifacts. Even if it's just those 4, though, that's probably good, at least for now. I mean, this sucks for free-to-play, but I guess it's good for the majority of players because people have been complaining about the lack of updated rewards in here for a long time. It's been 2 years, and finally after 2 years they're changing the rewards in here. So at least there's that, I guess. And yeah, let's go back into the patch notes. We're just about done here. Scroll down to the bottom. Okay. City auto relocation. Nope. Wrong thing. So I guess we did have one more category. Leveling up improvements. Improved leveling up experience. Basically, whenever you gain power, there's just going to be like a pop-up that says how much power you gained. Because before, if you finish something, there would just be like a streak that went up towards your power count, and it would increase. So now there's probably going to be like a little box here or something, or maybe a box in like the center of your screen that just says like plus and then X whatever amount of power you just gained. Which, I mean, sure, I guess. It's probably a common thing in other games. Hero upgrade improvements. XP requirements for heroes available in Season 1 have been reverted to their Season 1 values and will no longer increase as the season progresses. Okay, so that means like your Belen, Thea, Madeline, Kanara, Lilia, Hosk, which are like the relevant heroes, I guess maybe Nika too, their experience level will be reduced. I wonder if the experience level requirements for all the epic heroes will be reduced as well, or just the Season 1 ones. Either way, that's a good improvement, because at least this way new players will be able to max out their Season 1 heroes faster. Okay, now we're in the actual last section. So auto peacekeeping. Once your auto peacekeeping mission has ended, you'll receive a report message showing how many Darkling Legions you defeated, rewards you received, and any hero level increases. Okay, so there's going to be like a singular report then, I guess. Instead of like these massive reports like this, they'll probably batch all of the heroes together, which is pretty cool. Personally, I don't use auto peacekeeping, at least not that often. Sometimes I use it, but I like being able to control it myself. Sometimes there's some issues with the auto peacekeeping where like the infantry won't be in the right position and then your DPS gets hit. Just a little bit annoying. Anyways, the city auto relocation improvement. Improve the city auto relocation feature for players who have been offline for long periods, reducing the amount of time spent offline required to trigger the feature. This is good because my city... Here we are. My farm accounts here these two have been offline for like 3 weeks and they're still sitting here. So imagine if, like, for example, my main account got banned, like my farm accounts did. My main account gets banned, it's just going to sit on the front line, and people can destroy towers and I can't move it for weeks. So basically, if you get banned for like any sort of minor issue, or even a false ban for mass reporting, you're going to be stuck on enemy territory potentially without the ability to defend yourself. I don't know. If you get banned, your city should just automatically be ported back to home kingdom, or in some sort of state where you're just not on the map at all. I think that should probably be the fix, but is what it is. So Behemoth difficulty is being reduced, which is probably good because the vast majority of players either don't want to put in the time to do the Elite Behemoths and learn them properly, or they just don't have the power to do them. For example, younger kingdoms are obviously going to have less power unless they're, super high spend, which some of them are. But on average, they're going to have less power and struggle more with the behemoths. So this is a good change. You have to cater towards the new players, and I'm completely fine with that. One-tap name copying. A copy name button has been added to the profile page. Okay, so that's good. I think that already existed. If we just go here, I think like this already existed, no? I misread this and it applies to your own name, not other people's names, so that makes a lot more sense now that I'm reading it again. This one's a really big one though. The home realm chat being retained is awesome. So you're still going to be able to chat in your home realm chat and your KVK chat and your warband chat and your alliance chat at the same time when you're in KVK, which is great. They're adding new emotes for Zeta and Magrat, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think either of them have animated emotes, or do they? Maybe they do and I just didn't unlock them. No, okay, they don't have animated emotes. So maybe that's what they're going to be adding. If that's the case, that's good. In my opinion, these animated emotes are really cool, so all heroes should have them. Doesn't look like Danfell and Mogro have them either, though. I don't know why they're struggling so much with creativity. I guess they're just not allocating their budget appropriately. I guess it is what it is. And then there's some bug fixes. Fixed an issue with Danfell's Mercy skill effect at melee range. Don't really know what that is. In Season 1, the cooldown of the territorial relocation item has been renamed to Relocation Restriction Time. Change does not affect the function anyway. Okay. So I guess this is just like the pre-resurgence thing. Anyways. So there is a feedback form here that you can go ahead and fill in if you'd like. This patch notes is good. It's a little bit underwhelming and also confusing. I'm looking forward to the fellowship system for sure, to see how exactly that works. Also looking forward to the new mage heroes, even though the fact that this is a rally and support hero is really interesting. But I guess if your options are between support and control, I don't know which actually makes more sense for a rally. I guess maybe Thalia will be really good as like a secondary rally. Like you have a Gorist Gogol tank rally or something, and then a Thalia Bertrand rally maybe. I'm not sure exactly what would be best. Maybe Thalia Thundlin would just be best. The Sapphire Phaedrake was a letdown, but I'm looking forward to the new Great Heights thing. I'm going to be recording the data for the Great Heights pools soon, but this was a pretty good patch notes. Anyways, I'm going to go now into the just brief overview of these patch notes, and then I'll end off the video after that. So thanks for watching this part of the video. So here we are now in the quick patch notes portion of this video. If one of these things interests you, there will be a timestamp on screen, so you can go ahead and skip back to that portion of the video. Without further ado, here we go. The new map design for SoS3 Dragonfall was shown again, and the team-up mechanics, the faster demolition time in Dragon Zone, and army groups now being a policy instead of a season talent was also posted. And there was also this teaser for the new fellowship system, which looks really cool. The new mage heroes, pets, and artifacts were introduced. We have Thundlin, which is magic PvP control, Thalia, which is magic rally support, the new pet, which is a reskin of the Sapphire Phaedrake, and the new artifact, Thunder Elegy, which looks pretty cool. There's also a new behemoth, the Cosmic Rock. There will be the seasonal event series, which includes a snowball fight with frost giants, this new epic city theme, this decoration, and a new Great Heights skin, which is pretty interesting because now the top 20 people will win the Great Heights skin, not just the top 10. Danfell and Mogro are both getting buffed. If you would like to learn more about this, again use the timestamp on screen now. The Alliance priority list is being increased from 30 to 60. The Alliance Fog of War skill will now be colored differently depending on which Alliance used it. There will be a timer on display for when it will disappear, and it will now only grant 70% immunity instead of 100%, so if you are attacking someone in a fog, there is a 30% chance that you will deal damage to them. The migration cooldown is being reduced from 90 to 60 days. The cost for a migration permit in the Alliance shop is being reduced from 400,000 to 300,000 member points, and it will also be available for purchase for 1,000 gems each. The levels of resource tiles, Darklings, Darkling Forts, and War Pets are being increased in the home realm, as well as there will also be a weekly pet party event in the home realm when you are in the pre-war phase. Arcane Dust will now be returned to you when you reforge an artifact, and speaking of artifacts, there will be new artifacts added to the Titan's Legacy reward, which include the Phoenix Eye, Heart of Mossy, Spring Blades, and Dragon Scale Armor at least. Offline players will be removed from the map more quickly. Behemoth difficulty is being reduced. Home Realm chat will be retained while you're in KVK. And Magrat and Zeta are getting some new emotes. I didn't cover everything in this quick patch notes review, so if you'd like to hear literally everything, feel free to watch the entire video. If not, these patch notes were pretty good. The design choices with the new mage heroes maybe isn't the best, especially with the war pet, but at least it's something. The improvement of 20 people being able to get a great height skin is really nice. And there's some pretty good changes here as well. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.